I think we met an angel. This story happened around 35 years ago, so some of the details are a little blurry now. It was back in '88, I was 5 years old, and me and my family, mum, dad, brother, sister, and our aunt were on a road trip from Alabama to Orlando, Florida. The journey takes about 7 or 8 hours, and we had been on the road for maybe 3, 4 hours because I remember my brother asking my dad where we were, and he said halfway, we needed to stop to take a rest. So my dad pulled into gas station to fill up the tank and go in the 7-Eleven right next to the gas station. As everyone was leaving the car and heading for the 7-Eleven, my dad waited by the door for me to get out. My aunt yelled from a few feet away that she was going to take my brother and sister to the toilet. I got out of the car, and the second I did, an older woman appeared. She was standing right next to my dad. These details are very blurry, and I can't know for sure, but I think the woman wore a yellow dress with a yellow hat that had some kind of flower on it. Her shoes were light pink, and she also wore sunglasses. When my dad noticed her, he jumped up in the air in fear, saying, "Shit, you scared me." The woman didn't react to his response, but instead turned to my mother and said, "She is going to die." My mum looked concerned and asked, "What? Who is going to die?" Then she turned her face to me. She is going to die." My dad didn't take her words kindly and asked her to get fuck away from us and to stop harassing us. She then walked away to the parking lot. My mum was very concerned about what the woman said, but my dad told her she was just a nut job. My aunt, sister and brother returned to car and asked why we hadn't bought any snacks. My dad just came up with an excuse and we got back on the road. For the rest of the trip, we didn't bring it up or talk about it. We got to Orlando and visited our cousins staying there for the week. My mum is superstitious and is a believer in religion and in the paranormal, so she couldn't shake off the words that the woman had said. She became extremely worried and went to a hospital in Orlando for me to have a checkup. The doctor did some tests and later told my mum, "It was very lucky you brought in your daughter, because we found 2 blood clots in her left leg." I didn't need surgery. Instead, the doctors gave me medicine called blood thinners, and it removed both. After a week staying in the hospital, I was checked out and got to go home. On the way home, my parents stopped at the exact same gas station and asked the manager if they had security cameras around the property. They said yes, and my parents begged to watch the footage. After a while of requesting to see the footage, they allowed it. My mom gets a crease in her forehead and a funny look in her eye when she tells me this next part. The manager reminded the security footage back to the exact date and time we visited the gas station. In the security footage, it showed my parents' car rolling in and parking right in front of the camera. My brother and sister rushing out the car with my aunt, heading for the bathroom. You can see me, my mum and my dad, but no woman. The woman wasn't in the footage. You can see my parents talking to nothingness. It looked like they were talking to air. There was no woman there. My mother is sure they saw a lady, and both my parents know it couldn't have been an hallucination because they both saw her. My mom is convinced that it was an angel or something else not from this world trying to save me, but my dad just think it all was a crazy coincidence, and the footage was just a glitch that the lady wasn't seen. But it must be an extremely rare coincidence that a lady said that I was going to die and then I actually was going to die, and she wasn't seen on the security camera. I honestly don't know. Was it an angel or not, I will never know. But it is crazy to think that if my parents hadn't met the lady and didn't take me to the hospital to do a random checkup, I would most likely be dead.